What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a real backstage fight between wrestlers, Rey Mysterio injured, AEW are actually beating WWE, Bo Dallas's new career, Nia Jax gone from television for a long time, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now our first story looks at Rey Mysterio being injured. Now the top story today looks at some injury news relating to a top WWE star. The name in question is Rey Mysterio. He is one of the most decorated superstars in the entire WWE, and unfortunately it looks like Mysterio isn't cleared to compete. According to an exclusive report published by Fightful Select, the former WWE champion is out of action due to a medical issue. The report states, as of Friday night, Rey Mysterio was sidelined for an undisclosed medical reason and will no longer be able to perform at the Saturday Night Live event where he was scheduled to face Roman Reigns. Now Mysterio alongside his son Dominic were both drafted to Raw during Friday's edition of SmackDown, but at this stage it remains unclear when Mysterio will return to the squared circle. Next up, Bray Wyatt return update. Now ever since Bray Wyatt's shocking WWE release in the summer of this year, fans have been speculating what Bray's next moves will be. Now there appears to be concrete interest in Bray from AEW, but there also appears to be interest from Impact Wrestling. According to a report published by Fightful Select, Impact have asked a member of their roster who is close with Bray to try and get him on board and to sign with the company. However, the report doesn't reveal who this name is. If Impact signs the former WWE champion, this would be one of their biggest signings ever. Bray heading to Impact may be a smart decision, as of course with their roster pool he would be an instant megastar. If Braun decided to sign with AEW, there would be some doubt surrounding if there's enough television time for Bray to show what he's capable of. AEW have a stacked roster right now, and if they keep signing every top star, a number of them are sadly going to have to take a back seat. Would you guys like to see Bray in Impact Wrestling? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a real backstage fight between wrestlers. Alberto El Patron has once again hit the headlines, well, again for negative reasons, this time for supposedly having a shoot fight with Penta. The fight occurred after a BRB Satilomania live event in Mexico, and the two men had to be legitimately held back by security. Now we're unsure what the issue is between the two men, but there's definitely some animosity between the two. What is it with Del Rio and hating other wrestlers? Can this guy get along with anybody? Next up, Nia Jax gone from television for a long time. And Nia Jax was written off television a number of weeks ago after Shayna Baszler injured the former Raw Women's Champion. But according to a new report published by PW Insider, Nia will be taking an extended break off television. The report states that Nia wasn't backstage for the draft edition of SmackDown and she won't be at any future television dates. WWE will be using this storyline with Nia and Shayna to explain Nia's absence from television, and it's expected that WWE will revisit the feud once Nia eventually returns to WWE programming, whenever that may be, could be even the Rumble. Next up, AEW are actually beating WWE in this section. Now for some major news in relation to the ongoing rivalry between AEW and WWE, it isn't just the demo rating that AEW are defeating WWE in. It turns out that they're beating WWE in overall ticket sales for the television tapings. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer writes, "We'll have more next week on when I go through all the September business numbers, but AEW did outdraw WWE significantly per show. I'll figure with them with that Arthur Ashe Stadium. For October advances, AEW is slightly ahead, paid even though both Miami shows are not doing well. Really, October looks closer to a dead heat with both companies way down from September because nobody has the big shows like AEW in Newark and New York and WWE had in Philadelphia. Now it appears as if the WWE and AEW war is only going to get more heated with each month that passes. With AEW beating WWE in overall ticket sales, it'll be interesting to see if AEW makes any public comments in relation to this huge achievement. Speaking of ticket sales, we did reveal that the upcoming Survivor Series pay-per-view that's set to take place at the Barclays Center is struggling to sell tickets. Meltzer stated that WWE have only sold around 5,000 tickets for the show, and considering that Survivor Series is one of the big 4 pay-per-views, this is not the best news for WWE. Again, ticket sales could pick up later on nearer to the show, but right now it's not looking good. Next up, Matt Riddle discusses his real-life friendship with Randy Orton. Now, the partnership between Riddle and Randy Orton has been one of the highlights of WWE programming for the past few months. The duo would win the Raw Tag Team titles at SummerSlam, and it looks like the team will be remaining together as the duo stayed on Raw as part of the 2021 draft. Now, Riddle recently spoke on the After the Bell podcast, and during his appearance he discussed his real-life friendship with Orton, and he commented on how much he's learned from the multi-time WWE champion. Riddle revealed that Orton has told him to make the most of what he's doing inside the squared circle. Riddle added, "Randy, over the time we've been working together, has taught me so much. The way he moves in the ring, I think from me being from the indies, you have a fast work rate. You're trying to get everything in, you're only giving a certain amount of time. You're trying to do everything you can do, instead of making the most of what you're doing. Working with Randy, I feel like instead of killing myself, which I still do, I think I'm getting the most of what I'm doing now. The biggest thing I've learned from Randy." Next up, Bo Dallas's new career. When former NXT champion Bo Dallas departed the WWE in April of this year, Dallas decided to hang up his wrestling boots for good. Now, he had a decent run in the WWE and he was NXT champion and even won the Raw Tag Team titles, but there was always something missing that would have pushed Dallas into a more prominent role in the company, much like his brother. Dallas has recently launched a brand new YouTube channel, and the channel will involve Dallas showing viewers how to make delicious recipes as well as discuss various other topics including conspiracy theories. Dallas's first video on his YouTube channel is how to make the best damn cast iron chicken thighs, showing his culinary expertise outside of the ring. Now, we at Wrestlelamia wish Dallas all the best in his new profession. And finally, Braun Strowman returns. Our final story today looks at the in-ring return of former WWE Universal Champion Braun Strowman. Now, the release of Braun Strowman in June of this year came as a huge surprise to fans, as Braun was one of the WWE's top stars and he was even in a high-profile WWE title feud just shortly before his release. Although Braun had claimed in the past that he would retire from in-ring competition if he ever departed from WWE, this wasn't the case, and Braun last night had his first match since leaving the company. Braun defeated former WWE superstar EC3 at the Narrative 2 The Monster in Us All event, and Braun would comment on the match via Instagram saying, "You helped free me from so many monsters I had locked inside me. Thank you, real EC3. You helped take my rose-colored glasses off and truly see the beauty of the world. I changed the day we filmed this." Now, Braun still seems undecided in relation to what his next move will be. There is rumoured interest from both AEW and Impact Wrestling, and it was also rumoured that WWE would potentially be interested in bringing him back into the company. However, the new contract will be considerably less than Braun's original deal. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumours you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.